Hello to all of our amazing and adorable audience of Boston and Bubbles. I am Sarah Sparkles, and I'm really, really excited today to just kind of jump right into our introduction. Mark always does the fabulous introduction, but I'm just going to roll with it because I'm so excited. And today we are interviewing who I'm dubbing probably the most interesting man in the entire world. Like, remember those commercials? It wasn't the Marlboro Man, but like the Dos Equis guy. Like,
Yes.
Max is that times like a million, coming to us from Spain with my lovely bestie Mark Doherty, who didn't get a chance to actually physically pick me up at Women in DSO, but we'll have to plan for next time. But Max, I'm so excited. And I know you guys haven't met, obviously know the two of you. I'm excited for you to tell Mark about the amazing things that you do, some stories that you're actually allowed to tell on a podcast and not ones that you can't, or whatever your little heart desires.
Sure.
So with that, I would just love, from the, I'm sorry, I guess I should give an even better intro. From coming from the automotive industry for what, 45 years, and bringing more than 45? What? Are
No,
you
no,
laughing? No,
no.
you're I'm sorry.
I'm only 48 years old.
We're 48. Why did I say that?
So
You
I,
have the experience of
yeah,
somebody that has been in it for 45 years. Let me have some more wine. I forget how in close in age we are, but I would love for you to tell our listeners, tell Mark about like your journey from automotive to dental and how you're literally just gonna like change the world with your
well,
cigarettes.
yes. I mean, listen, smoking is good for you. The amazing thing about car business is that, nobody grows up saying, I can't wait to sell cars, right? It's just not something that we're wired to do. And everybody ends up in car business by accident. So what happened to me is that I wanted to be a spy.
Spy.
Yeah.
A spy? How did I not? You wanted to be a
So not only that I got my bachelor's from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, I also got my master's degree from the same school, and I majored in security management. Not the financial security, but like the James Bond type of shit
Now, so Max, where did you grow up?
in Moscow.
Wow.
So I came to America when I was 16. So I finished high school in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then I went to like the military recruitment station. And I said, "Hey guys, I have this master's degree, and I want to be like in military intelligence. And good news, I speak Russian. And I learned, something that I should have researched probably before going to college is that you can only get top secret clearance if you're born in America. If you're not born in America, you can only get secret clearance.
Okay.
And with secret clearance, you can like serve tea and coffee to like the spies, right? But you'll never be a spy yourself. So this is where like my military intelligence career ended. And literally, no bullshit, literally around the corner from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, there used to be a dealership, Potemkin Volkswagen. And I guess like any other dealership, they would hire anybody with a pulse, right? So as long as you can fuck up a mirror, right, you got a job. And I got a job because you got to pay your bills, you got to pay the student loans, right?
How old are you now, Max? What age are we talking here? How old are you at this point?
So I'm 25. So I started selling cars at 25, and I gotta give credit to the Potemkin organization. They trained me, and then it's complete meritocracy in car business, right? So as long as you know how to sell cars, and you have a little bit of social skills, you will get promoted. And eventually I ended my career running multiple dealerships. And I mean, I didn't end my career. The financial crisis of 2008 ended my career, and then I just truly sat on my ass for 2 years because I had no idea what to do.
And at this time, Max, are you still in New York at
Yeah,
this
I'm
time?
still in New York. I had no idea what to do, and eventually I ran out of money.
Okay.
To sit on my ass. And then somebody said, hey, I have this brilliant idea. Let's go sell chemicals. It's like a Purell for the interior of your car. Let's go sell Purell for the interior of your car to the service departments in New York and New Jersey. So I said, okay, listen, when your back is against the wall, this is what you're going to do. And, we started doing it. And I think I got thrown out of more dealerships than you can Google. Nobody was interested in my bullshit, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what Purell, go pound sand. And then, to make the long story short, somehow I ended up instead of chemicals, I ended up selling F&I products. And for people that don't know what F&I products are, I'll make it very easy. When you buy a car, whether new or used, at some point you're going to go and sign documents, and that guy is going to sell you a warranty.
Mm.
So that warranty, whether it's for your car, for your tires, for your windshield, is an F&I product, which stands for finance and insurance. And then I got into reinsurance that we can talk about later. And if somebody told me 2 years ago that I would be in dental, I would tell them that they're insane, right? Absolutely insane. But here I am.
So, gosh, it's funny how we can make pivots, right, in our careers and adapt. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. And Max, certainly, you have done that. So I'm dying. Listen, as a dentist, I'm dying to hear about your group. I will put it on for the records here, the archives. You are our first international guest, correct, Sarah? Yep. Okay.
Absolutely.
What time is it right now in Spain?
7:08 at night.
Okay. And today's Friday. And I see that you have maybe something that you're puffing on, a cigarette, a cigar.
Yeah, a cigarette.
And so so that's fine. Bring what you want. Normally we have a drink. I don't know if you have a drink on the side or.
Yeah, this is not iced
Always.
tea. This is not iced tea.
My man. So listen, yeah, let's hear all about your business, your practice. You said you started it only 2 years ago?
Less than 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, Sarah has said nothing but awesome things about you. You're obviously a character, great smile, great sense of humor. I definitely want to talk about that. I want you to give our listeners some tips maybe on what they can use to purchase new cars when they deal with salesmen. That's going to be the little promo here. But yeah, so let's hear all about it, Max.
So I'll start by saying that business people and dentists are from different planets,
Absolutely.
right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And the reason I say that is because, like I said in the beginning, nobody grows up wanting to sell cars or garage doors, right? Or nobody grows up saying, "Oh, I can't wait to be, working for a sanitation department." But life happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And people that end up in any kind of business, they have a singular focus on making money because otherwise their business doesn't work. Dentists, on the other hand, I don't think they have the same mentality. They probably did grow up wanting to be a dentist and wanting to help people. And that's very honorable. And I respect the fact that they actually, took their dream and made it into reality. And because of that, the handicap is that making money is not the primary focus. It's maybe not even the secondary focus. But at the end of the day, right, at some point, I'm pretty sure every dentist understands that unless they make money, it's not a way to live and it's not a way to practice. Right? Because if you take all the expenses associated with becoming a dentist, right? Whether it's tuition, whether it's a practice loan, whether it's purchasing equipment, hiring people, paying rent for your office, negotiating with different businesses when it comes to purchasing supplies, right? You have to know what you're doing. And I think the biggest handicap is that dental schools, probably by design, only focus on clinical education.
Max, I gotta take a time out because you are nailing this on the head. And honestly, for our listeners, for anyone who is with the dental schools that is teaching, honestly, we need to get more courses in there that are built on practices and how to practice and business, because we don't get any of that in dental school. We get no business sense. We get no business curriculum. And it's really baptism by fire when you go out there on your own, and you have to really set yourself up, with people who know how to run businesses. Because if you go out there on your own, you have no business skills, you're in trouble. Now, I will say, I do see some people going out there and getting their MBA, which is, if I could go back and do it all again, I would 100% do that. I would get my MBA versus learning it by the school of hard knocks. But really, really need better education on business management, on business practice in our schools. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And Max, again, you totally nailed that. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Can I even say to I'm so sorry, Spy Max, to interrupt you, but I can't believe I didn't know that. But even the things that they can teach you in school in regards to business, like I don't even think that people really understand what Max and what Dental Protection Group and Warranties can do. Like even if they were, like it has been absolutely fascinating to learn about this.
I'm still waiting. I can't wait to hear.
So what we do, you definitely are not going to learn in Harvard Business School, because business school education is based on case studies. That's how they do it. Because I actually took a couple of courses in Harvard, so I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's how MBA education works. And the case studies are usually about mergers, acquisitions, negotiations. So what we do comes down to the following, right? There are only three ways. And listen, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I think there are only three ways you can make money. First, you can increase sales. Second, you can decrease expenses. And third, you can pay less taxes. That's it. Right? You can go to business school till you're blue in the face. They will not teach you a fourth way. Right? So what we do will definitely help you increase sales and decrease taxes.
Tell me more.
Let's talk about the concept of warranties, right? If I say a warranty, right, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Both of you instinctively know what I'm talking about. And every patient of yours knows what a warranty is. You don't have to explain it to them. And before, let me actually go back, right? So everything in life, whether it's dentistry or warranties or podcasts, everything in life, even dating, is all about your ability to sell. You either sell a product or you sell yourself. In case of a dentist, you have to be able to sell your dentistry. And that requires sales skills. And I read a fascinating book called The Fortune Recipe by Bernie Stoltz. He's the CEO of the Fortune Management, which is like the executive training company for dentists. And in the book, he gives a phenomenal example where a dentist takes a very expensive CE course, learns an incredible skill, becomes super specialized, really good at it. And then they look at the P&L of that practice and it doesn't change. And the only reason it doesn't change is because the dentist cannot articulate and sell what he knows. And I know this from my personal experience. I was in a dental chair as a patient, and I was told that I need a crown. So the first question out of my mouth, because I never had dental insurance, I said, "Okay, doctor, how much does it cost?" And this is what I got in return. He couldn't look me in the eye. He looked down, and the doctor said, "I have no idea. You have to speak to Mary at the front desk." Okay, so if I'm the doctor and I invested, I think NYU Dental School by now is $500,000.
It's all very high.
Right, and then I borrowed another $500,000 to open a practice, right? And then I have to live my life. I got a mortgage and a car payment, right? And I'm going to rely on Mary so I can make a living. There's a complete breakdown here, right? Because Mary probably gets paid what? $15 an hour?
25, 28, 25,
Okay,
24.
25. No problem, 25. So Mary is on track to crack 50 G's a year. And you are probably $1.5 million in debt at this point, right? And you're going to delegate the payoff to marry. How insane is that?
So I have some thoughts, but keep going. I want to
Right?
hear this out more.
Just look me in the eye and say, hey, Max, the crown is $2,500. That's all
Okay.
you got to do,
Okay.
right? And you have to understand the trust that any patient has when a doctor speaks to them is not at the same level as when a car salesman tells you got to do this, right? It's polar opposite. So it's not like you have to be, a salesman of a century as a doctor. All you have to do is articulate your dentistry and say, hey, Max, you need a crown. It's good for you. It's $2,500. We'll get it done in 1 or 2 visits. Go make a deposit. Mary will collect your money. That's it. But 90%, I would say 90% of doctors are incapable of doing it.
Know what I say to patients when they ask me, Max? I put my finger up to my lip and I say, $1 million.
Okay. Not bad. That's a good start because you can always come down, right?
Can always come down.
Right. You can never go up. So the point that I'm trying to make is that the reason warranties exist is for basically there are 2 reasons. Warranties provide a peace of mind to the buyer. It doesn't matter what you buy, right? A car, a refrigerator, or a crown, right? So you get a peace of mind. But the real reason behind it, why businesses offer warranties, is because it's a tremendous money making machine. And the reason it's a tremendous money making machine is because all of it is regulated by the IRS code, right? So in the 80s, there was an insurance crisis in America. And there were only a few players in the insurance space, and they were charging exuberant premiums, right? That businesses could not afford. It doesn't matter what business you were in, you just couldn't afford the insurance premium. So the IRS said, we're going to allow any small business to open their own captive insurance company. And captive means that your business owns the insurance company, and basically you are the only client of that insurance company. So other industries, whether automotive, home builders, electronics, have been using this idea since 1986. So next year, it's going to be 40 years. And so the reason I ended up in dental is because I had dinner with a couple and they're both dentists. And I just asked them, I said, guys, I'm curious if you do a crown and it breaks, what happens next? And they said, listen, if we like you, we're going to redo it. Right? And if we don't like you, you're on your own. So I said, what about a warranty? Isn't there like a legitimate type of warranty? And they said, no. Basically, we end up goodwilling all the work to maintain the relationship with the patient, which is very honorable, and I respect that. But goodwilling the work represents a loss on your
It sure
financial
does.
statement.
It sure does.
Right. So that's when I thought about, doing warranties. And I did a little bit of research and I realized that there are other companies in the space that provide dental warranties. So by no means I'm the first person to think of it. The only difference is how we do it. And the way the current providers in the dental space do it, I would call it an antiquated way. And I wouldn't be able to do that in any other industry. I would get thrown out immediately if I did it that way. And I would be immediately out of business. And the reason I say this is this. So, right, that in terms of clinical education, you guys are phenomenal, right? So if I asked you, what's your failure rate or remake ratio, it's probably under 3%. So when you have to goodwill it, it's very rarely. It's not like an everyday occurrence, but there is risk and it's hard to quantify, right? What it's going to mean to you in the future. So the antiquated way of doing business is where you buy a warranty. I mean, you sell a warranty to the patient and then you pay the premium for the warranty to the warranty provider. So let's say that warranty costs 15% of the dental procedure. So instead of charging me $1,000 for a crown, now you charge me $1,150. Okay. And then you pay that extra $150 that you collected from me to the warranty provider. And let's say this is a 5-year warranty. And this is where your relationship ends. Meaning, if that crown fails, I promise you the other company will pay the claim. No questions asked. But we, all three of us, know that the probability of that happening is 3% or less. So by definition, there should be money left over after claims are paid. So in the antiquated way that exists in dental, the warranty provider keeps all the money left over after claims are paid as their profit. In the real world, where people have singular focus on making money, they would never allow an insurance company to keep that profit for themselves, right? Because they know that the risks are very low. And the best example I can give you is if you guys have an iPhone, you probably have Apple Care. So Apple Care is a warranty for the iPhone. iPhone has the same probability of a breakdown as a dental procedure. It almost never breaks, but it gives the consumer a peace of mind, right? So if the risk was high, then what Apple would do, they would, do business with any insurance company that you know. For example, Liberty Mutual, Geico, Allstate, and they would let them underwrite these policies. And if there is money left over, Allstate would keep it, right? And if claims exceed premiums, then Allstate would take a hit, right? But people in Apple know that this is a phenomenal product and it will almost never break down. So why would they leave that money on the table, right? They wouldn't. So what do? Guess who owns Apple Care? Apple, right? So Apple is underwriting their own work. Now, why is it important? Because money left over after claims are paid in any insurance industry is not, and I want to say it again, is not subject to income tax. You have to process this information because it only applies to insurance. It doesn't matter what your business is or Sarah's business or my business, right? In any business in America, if you have X amount of dollars in profit, whether we like it or not, we will have to pay Uncle Sam at some point. These rules do not apply to insurance. The reason they do not apply to insurance is because insurance lobby is one of the most powerful lobbies in the world. So to give you a backstory, I don't know if you guys know this, but there was no income tax in the United States before 1913. And the reason 1913 is the date is because American people were told we will introduce income tax temporarily to help pay for World War I effort. Okay, sounds good. I would sign off on that too, right? But let's fast forward 112 years, right? It's 2025. All three of us are paying income tax, right? So once insurance companies understood that, they immediately started lobbying Congress to get preferential treatment on their income. And their income is money left over after claims are paid. And of course, they got it done. In 1986, the same taxation privilege was introduced to the small businesses of America. So you didn't have to be Allstate to reap the benefits. You could be a dentist, you could be a contractor, you could be a home builder, right? Or you could be Apple, right? So the way it works is that the way we do business, I would say it's more sophisticated and much more beneficial to the owners, to the owner of the dental practice, or to the owner of the business. Meaning that if you know that your failure rate is so low, that means there'll be a ton of money left over after claims are paid. And that's your money. But in order for you to get the same tax benefits as the insurance companies, you have to own one. So this is where we come in, right? We don't want any dentist to become an insurance expert. We're not asking you to take CE courses or get an insurance license. We do all the work in the background. So what we do, we open an insurance company, which is a separate C Corp that you as the owner of the dental practice own. Okay. Now, think of your car insurance or any other insurance. When you pay that premium, right?
Mhm.
They take your money, and what do you think they do with it? Do they put it in a safe? Do they put it under the mattress? Or do they invest it in the market? Right? They invested into the market. So we want you to do the same thing. So we open an insurance company for you, and then we open a brokerage account with Morgan Stanley or Raymond James, both household names, super reputable banks. So now you have a brokerage account in the name of your insurance company. So there's a complete chain of custody. You own a dental practice, you own the insurance company has a brokerage account with Morgan Stanley. And then you start selling warranties.
Mhm.
So let's say it's the same thing, it's 15% of the dental procedure. So now, instead of $1,000 charge for a crown, it's $1,150. You collect that extra $150 today. We will bill you on the first of the following month for that $150. So the extra revenue collected in the month of March is a tax deductible expense in the month of April. So it has no impact on your financial statement. We collect that money, we take a 30% management fee, which in this case equals to $45, and we
Mhm.
put the remaining $105 into your Morgan Stanley account. This is your account, therefore Morgan Stanley will call you and they will say, what's your risk tolerance? Are you more conservative? Are you more aggressive? And depending on your answers, that's how your money is going to be invested. So you are the decision maker together with Morgan Stanley, not me. So you immediately start earning investment income in the market. Now, to understand the concept, all we have to do is follow a life of a single contract that you are selling today, and you will never sell another one ever again. So the first scenario, right, you collected extra 150, we bill you for 150, 105 goes to your Morgan Stanley account. Now we're going to fast forward 5 years. You did a phenomenal job. That crown never failed. So now you have 105 in Morgan Stanley, and probably you earned another $20 in investment income. So now you have $125 there. There are three things that you can do with this money. You can leave it there so it continues to compound. You can take a distribution and pay long-term capital gains on it, which is significantly lower than ordinary income tax that you pay today.
Yes.
Or you can borrow from your insurance company. And as long as you pay yourself back with interest and you get to keep the interest, there is no middleman in this transaction, there is no taxable event whatsoever. So that's scenario number one, and it's very black and white. Scenario number two, the same thing, but we're going to fast forward 3 years. And that crown fails. The patient is back in the office and he says, I know I have this warranty. I'd like to take advantage of it. And you know that you need the entire $1,000 to redo this procedure. In the back of your mind, you know you only have $105 in Morgan Stanley and maybe $10 in investment income. So if this was the case of self-insurance, this is when your self-insurance files for bankruptcy and goes out of business, right? Because the claims exceed premiums. We don't do self-insurance. We do reinsurance. So the 30% management fee that we charge is not all profit. I wish it was, but it's not. Major part of that 30% goes to buy a contractual liability insurance policy from a real insurance company, because your insurance company exists on paper only for the tax benefits. Nobody works there, right? You definitely don't work there. I don't work there, right? So think of it this way. There are two types of insurance companies in the world. One type we all know. I'll give you some names. Allstate, Liberty Mutual, State Farm, Geico, right? The reason you know these names is because they advertise to get you and me to buy their insurance. Geico wants to sell you car insurance, State Farm wants to sell you home insurance. And that's why you know the names. The other type of insurance companies in the world does not advertise. None of us know their names. So if I told you a name like Munich Re, Zurich Re, right? You say, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? Because these companies are not interested in you and I. Their clients are other insurance companies. All they do is sell insurance to other insurance companies for cases like this, meaning you only have $115 in your insurance company, the claim requires $1,000 payment. So what we do, we buy a real insurance policy from that type of an insurance company. And the first $115 of that claim is going to come from your Morgan Stanley account. The other $885 is going to come from a real insurance company. So you and the patient are going to be made whole. So that's what we do. The good news, again, is that doctors do a phenomenal job. So the losses will be there, but they'll be insignificant, right? Therefore, if you do this correctly, and by correctly, I mean we warranty every single procedure. We don't cherry pick. So I don't care if you do a filling or if you do a full arch, it doesn't matter. The only two things we cannot warranty is hygiene and teeth extractions. And trust me, guys, if you show me how to do it, I'll do it. Right? So if you do it correctly, and by correctly, I mean put this on every single procedure, there will be a point in time, usually in 7 or 8 years, when your warranty portfolio will be worth more than your dental. But imagine if you are 30 years old and you're just starting out, right? And you have a 35-year runway. By the time you're ready to retire, your warranty portfolio will be worth probably 5-6 times more than your.
I have a question for you, Max. Regarding the patient, does Dental Protection Group, do they get any of the patient information with the patients that sign up for the warranty?
So we built the portal for the dental practice to enter the information, and it's built according to HIPAA standards.
Cool. Good to know.
Why do you think people are hesitant about this, Max?
Well, listen, let's be super clear here. People are not hesitant about it in other industries, right? People are hesitant about it in dentistry because, again, I cannot explain to you why in the last 39 years, nobody thought of doing this in dentistry. And another thing I got to tell you is the psychological profile of a dentist is very different from a psychological profile of a business owner. A business owner is usually a type A personality that makes decisions quickly. It doesn't mean that these decisions are correct decisions, right? It's just making them. Doctors happen to be over analytical. And I'll give you a perfect example. You know, we exhibited for the first time at Greater New York right after Thanksgiving in 2023, a year and a half ago. I get phone calls from doctors a year and a half later that said, I spoke to you at Greater New York and I've been thinking about it. So I tell them, great, keep thinking about it, right? You know how much money you lost while you were thinking about it for a year and a half? You understand? Like
Yeah.
at some point, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I have a sneaky suspicion that due to the fact that dental schools do not provide business education, I have a feeling that dentists were taken advantage of by snake oil salespeople, and now they're a little hesitant.
Yeah, well, that accompanied by there's just so many different offerings out there, Max, in the dental world for, your practices. It just, quite frankly, it can sometimes be overwhelming with all the different things we're trying to be sold. But yeah, it can be challenging sometimes and overwhelming.
But think of it this way, right? We're not asking you to take a CE
Right.
course. We're not
Yeah.
asking you to buy a $300,000 digital printer, right?
Yep.
We're not asking you to buy a $60,000 X-ray machine.
You're right.
The only thing we're asking you to do is change the culture of your practice. And this is what I mean. Since people understand warranties, companies use warranties as a market differentiator. So for example, if you look at Kia or Hyundai, right, these are the only two brands in the United States that offer a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. No other brand does this, not Mercedes, not Honda, nobody. And this is the ultimate reason, the real reason why people buy these cars. That's it, right? That's how important it is in their mind. The other example I can give you is this. If I was selling you a $50,000 X-ray machine, Would you buy it if it came without effect? You
Most likely
see?
not.
You see, because all of us are consumers first, right? So now, not only that, a concept of the warranty can be used as a marketing tool. So if you put this on your website, right, you include this in your social media, basically you scream from the rooftops that I'm not like my competitors. I stand behind my work, no questions asked. You don't have to jump through hoops. You are guaranteed to get a flow of new patients. Now, getting new patients is fantastic, but what's even better is retaining them.
Of course.
So the way we wrote the warranty is that in order for the patient to keep the warranty active, they have to go back to you for regular checkups. And you determine the intervals of those checkups. So we bring them back, we put them back in your chair, and you have another opportunity to offer them, maybe there's a cavity, maybe there's something else, so you can generate additional revenue from each and every visit. Another benefit is that treatment plan acceptance rates go up, right? Like you said, you would not buy that x-ray machine without the warranty, but with the warranty, you would buy it. Believe me, some of your procedures are more expensive than these x-ray machines or more expensive than cars. So why would I buy it without a warranty? You're going to tell me, hey, Max, the top and bottom arch is only $80,000, right? And you're on your own. Why would I say yes to that? But if you say, hey, 5 years, anything happens, this $80,000 will be taken care of. I mean, that's
So,
a phenomenal sales tool.
yeah, listen, I think this is a great concept. So let me ask you, much of the messaging here has been in regards to general dentists and their practices. What about for specialists? Like for me, I'm a root canal specialist.
Yeah.
For periodontists who specialize in the gums and implants, is it similar for them? And you said that you have, the patient's return every 6 months. It's in the contract. Well, for a root canal, we don't have to see the patient 6 months later.
No, so that's what I said. You determine the intervals. If you don't want to see them, just put don't return. Or if you want to see them once a year or every 9 months. Because we work with full arch practices where they really don't want to see you back every 6 months. They just said, I want to see you back every 12 months. So that's what they put on the contract.
Perfect. So, it's funny. Again, I think this is a great concept. And, for me, just to share some personal information with my practice, typically, when we do root canals, obviously we inform the patients of the fees and they ask all types of questions and we answer as best we can. But, it's the work that we do is medicine. And, medicine isn't 100%. And we're dealing with bacteria, and bacteria can be tricky. And, we can cite all of the data and literature and tell them what the success rate is going to be. But sometimes, we have patients that come in and we just know right away that those cases are going to be more challenging. And it's going to take more than just a root canal to treat the tooth. And, this patient's probably going to be coming back and we're probably going to have to do more work. And, with that, and sometimes it's a surprise. Sometimes it looks like the best root canal in the world and everything was great, but still the patient's coming back and they need more treatment. And, it hurts, right? It's tough to do that treatment again at no charge, at no expense, because you're trying to keep that relationship with the patient good. You're trying to keep the patient happy. And all I can ever think of is, oh my gosh, if I were in medicine right now and if I were a surgeon, I just did a knee replacement and it failed within a year and, I have to do it again, I'm going to get paid for that. But in dentistry, no, we have to suck it up. And
Exactly.
it's not fair. It's not fair. And we do a lot of detailed work and we do a lot of surgical stuff in a very, in place that's, very sensitive, the mouth, a lot of nerves. And, it can be challenging. But yeah, I'm so glad to hear about this concept in your group. And you'll certainly be getting a follow up call from me. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So I'll tell you two things, right? First, everything you're saying is music to my ears, and I'll tell you why. Right? I know, if you guys were perfect, then there will be no claims, right? But if there are the claim itself, whatever the claim is, doesn't matter if it's a filling or a root canal, the claim itself is the ultimate proof of risk. And without proof of risk, how can you own an insurance company? So when I say that claims are good, it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me when I tell you, claims are good. Because if there are no claims, there is no risk, and you own an insurance company and you're shoveling money there, right? And that money turns into underwriting profit, right? Which is the same amount of money after claims are paid, and now it's not subject to income tax. IRS will say that this is pure tax evasion. So claims are good, right? You're not perfect, and mouth is very unpredictable, right? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's your fault and sometimes it's not, but it doesn't matter.
Right. Right.
Something else that Max and I have talked about that I think is interesting is in regards to, yes, at the end of however many years, it could be more valuable than your practice, but also for some of these group practices, that's where you could use that money for associates or for, not necessarily like equity, but like
Position.
owner acquisition. I mean, all sorts of different things. It's really fascinating, the whole concept of reinsurance, which I'm never really good at explaining, and then letting
So, guys,
Max
think of
know.
it
And I'm
this way.
just like,
My understanding, and again, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm new, right? That, you do hire associates and then there's turnover, right? Some stay, some go. Some are good, some are bad. So let's say you're not lucky and you got, a so-so associate that left. All the remakes are coming back to you, right?
Yes.
Right? If I come back to you, you're not going to say, well, Max, Joe is no longer here. Joe is across town. Go see Joe, right? You're never going to do that. You're just going to goodwill it and eat the corn.
Yes.
Okay. So now
Yep.
imagine this. You can use the concept of the dental warranty as an insurance policy against, I don't know, is shitty the appropriate word, against shitty associates?
it's probably a nice
Underqualified.
word. It
Right.
might be a
Okay.
nice word for.
Underqualified. Right. Okay. Right. But there's a flip side to that. Let's say you get lucky, right? And you get a
Yeah.
phenomenal associate and you
Yeah.
want that associate to stay. I was told that what most doctors do in this case, they start, either offering or giving away equity in their practice to hold on to the associate. Okay. So my suggestion to you is keep 100% of the equity in your practice and give the associate a portion of your reinsurance company that
Mm.
will vest in 5, 10 years. So what you end up doing is putting golden handcuffs on that associate and still owning 100% of your practice.
Great model.
It's like stock options that vest in 10 years, right?
Yes, yes. I don't think you're going to hear about any dentist complain about having extra money in a bucket, And I'll tell you, it's just, and just with dental inflation is so high these days, and we continue to battle it, and it's like the never ending battle. So again, any money that we can have left over, we can certainly put to good use.
Exactly. And when you want to use the money, also a very important point. So just because the warranty is 5 years long, this is not a CD where your money is locked in for 5 years. So the way it works is that since every policy is 5 years long, every year of that policy represents 20%, right? One fifth. So every year, one fifth of underwriting profit, money left over after claims are paid, and 20% of investment income becomes free and clear of future claims. And again, there are the same three things you can do with that money. You can either leave it there, take a distribution, or borrow it. So the money becomes available literally on a daily basis because you're not going to sell all the warranties today, right? So the warranty that you sell today, the first year will be a year from today. And then you'll sell another warranty tomorrow, another warranty tomorrow. So you can have access to this money on an annual basis.
And I'm guessing that with any dental group that signs up with you, we get literature to share with the patients.
You get
I'm
literature,
guessing that
you
you
get
must.
training.
Good. Yep.
We're going to hold your hand, we're going to give you work tracks. Uh,
Aw, Max, I want to hold your hand.
Yeah,
That
I
would
was
be
just going to
so
say the three of us
cute.
should hold hands.
I
I can't wait
mean,
to hold hands with the two of
you
you
had an
at our next
opportunity in
conference.
Chicago.
That was so lovely, just sitting on the little bench with you and just like looking at
So
people
is
and just
that where you
that's
two
fun.
met? Is Chicago?
Well, that's when we met for the first time in person.
Okay.
And I learned all about and not only is Max an amazing and wonderful human,
Well, I
he's
can
written like
tell.
how many books? How many books
So
have you written?
I wrote 5 books in automotive, and now I wrote 2 books in dental.
Wow.
Because I know you guys are. So this is how it works in automotive. Car dealers don't read, right? But they would buy my books and just keep them on the desk. So when you enter their office, you think, wow, this is a sophisticated guy, reads a lot of books, right? Doesn't matter what kind of books, right? So I sell a lot of books in car business, but I'm kind of positive that they don't read them. It's just a paperweight. But in dental, right? I wrote the book because doctors happen to be over analytical, and I know they will actually read it. So the book that I wrote specifically for dentists is called The Dental Revolution,
Mm.
The Dental Warranty Revolution. So I
Hmm.
explain literally in crayons, it's 75 pages long, why it's good for you and why other people do it. Right. And I promise you, it's phenomenal bathroom reading material.
Where can we find this book, Max? Is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon and it's available as Kindle, paperback, and audiobook.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll tell you more. I will ship this book at no charge to any doctor in the United States, anytime. I'm not looking to make money selling books.
You're just educating us, and we all need to be educated. Max, what's your year looking like in terms of any conferences that you'll be at? Any more dental conferences this year, or your
So
team?
far, I know we're going to the ADOM conference, which is the Association of Dental Office Managers. I think it's in August or September. And Sarah know this, we just did our first webinar with Glenn Vo and with the Nifty Thrifty Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a phenomenal success. Glenn Vo is a huge fan of our program. I'll give you another reference. The book that I wrote, Dr. wrote a forward, and Dr. Geld, when I casually drop his name, like people, their jaw drops because he's like Michael Jordan of sleep apnea on Madison Avenue, and he wrote the forward to my book because he's also a huge fan of the program.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
You said huge fan. I'm gonna like go off topic. Mark, your arms look fucking huge.
Been hitting it hard lately.
I
I've
mean,
been
he's
hitting it hard.
juicing. He's juicing.
Oh my gosh, like even just like your like I don't know if you're flexing on purpose, but like
No, no,
your arm.
no, please, no. I just, I had to get my Boston shirts. Jalen Brown, I'm sporting today. Celtics. So, all right, Max, listen, we have talked a lot of shop here today. You've shared a tremendous amount, which has been very educational. Let's hear about what we do for fun. What do you got going on the side?
So I actually live in Spain, probably 8, 9 months out of the year, and the other 3 months I'm in New York.
Okay.
And every year I try to make it less and less,
Hates it.
because living in Spain is just a dream. And I highly recommend anybody doing it. So instead of thinking of retiring in Florida, you should retire here.
So, one of the things that Sarah and I do with our guests is we end up visiting them. So, we'll have to get Spain on the calendar.
I mean, listen, Sarah has an open invitation.
We should do it. We might not come back, Mark.
Right, right.
Anybody who gets an opportunity to sit and talk with Max, it is like it's the most freaking hysterical thing. And he just
Sarah,
the
this
shit
time
that this man says.
I had to keep
You
it
would
kind of professional, kind of
Yes,
corporate,
it's
which
I
hard.
know
It's hard.
I've never
which goes
I've never
against everything I believe in.
I know I've never seen this side of you before, Max.
Right.
Oh,
It's
we
like
are
really
the not
surprising.
so serious dental podcast. That's our tagline, the not so serious dental podcast. So this is
We should
perfect.
we should
And yeah,
probably
I
do
think
an
you kept it very professional. In fact, maybe too
The fatal mistake that I made is I was too fucking serious. Listen, at the end of the day, right?
professional.
Let's put it in dollars and cents, right? And maybe it sounds very cynical, right? But whoever has the most toys wins.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is just a phenomenal way, time tested, battle tested, to make a lot of money and buy a lot of toys. Because when it comes to you spending the money out of your warranty portfolio, There are no strings attached. Listen, you want to buy another practice? Great. You want to buy equipment? Fantastic. You want to buy a beach house and a Porsche? Even better.
Yeah, let's buy it all.
All right, let's buy it all.
I always tell Max this, and I'm surprised, Max, I haven't even heard you say this. If there were, you know how influencers, Mark, how influencers on Instagram, like they all make all of their merch and it's based upon like their sayings that they say all the time. Max's, regardless of how much he uses the F word and all this other stuff, he's like this, just like he's amazing. And then he'll say, it really takes testicular fortitude to do XYZ. And I'm shocked he hasn't said it, but that is what, if he ever comes out with merch,
So then
that's
he's
what it
really
needs to
being
say.
professional today.
Yeah.
Right.
So I said it for you.
Yeah. So I remember, I actually did a little bit of merge in automotive, right? So, car dealers by nature want to sell you a car in person because it's a belly to belly business, right? But then, you're used to your Amazon experience, and then Carvana comes along where you can buy a car online. So you kind of have to, do both now, whether you like it or not. So I made a mug, right? And I put a Blockbuster logo on it. And I said, don't be like Blockbuster. And I sold a ton of these mugs, right? Because Blockbuster fucked up, right? And now you got Netflix. And Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for pennies, maybe $5-10 million.
So you just reminded me. So here I am going in to buy a car, a truck. I'm a truck guy. I'm going to buy a truck. With your history in the automotive industry, what tips do you have, or just maybe one tip? I don't want to put you too much on the spot here. What tip or tips do you have for someone like me who, just regular guy, just wants to get a good truck, but get the best deal? What am I thinking? What am I looking to do?
Pickup
Any
truck?
tips? What's that?
A pickup truck?
Yeah, for me, a pickup truck. Yes.
Okay. So the only thing I'm going to say is this. Get a Tundra, a Toyota Tundra. Okay? Because everybody else is going to go and try to get an F-150, a Ram, Silverado, right? And at the end of the day, there's nothing better than Toyota engineering.
Excuse me.
And the Tundra is a phenomenal truck, and you'll always get a better deal on the Tundra than on Silverado or Ram.
Thank you. Sorry.
Does Mark, your dog, agree with that?
She absolutely does.
She's like, fucking Tundra, let's do it.
Yeah.
We keep it real here, right, Sarah, as we say.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
Yeah.
Max, thank you so, Max. You are, I don't even know if I could say delightful human, because you are delightful, but you are just so many other things. And I hope that everybody in this industry gets to meet you, because you're not typical, you're funny, you're smart. The amount of life experience that this man has is just unfreaking real. Like, just sitting with him at Chicago, I didn't even have to say anything. I even spilt my champagne. Remember, Max? Like, I spilt my champagne everywhere. I was just like so shocked by all the stuff that he was telling me. And so he's just a fascinating person. So thank you so much for talking with us, because I think that this is great for the industry. And I know people may be hesitant or afraid or nervous of the unknown. So I'm glad that we were able to.
So, Max, how can our listeners reach you?
So 2 ways, right? They either go on our website, dentalprotectiongroup.com, and they can book a demo with me personally, or I'll just give you my phone number. Call me anytime. I actually know how to use the phone, and I answer it, right? Like, I don't send you to voicemail. So my number is 917-903-0312.
Fantastic. And you're on LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on
So
Instagram.
ways we can get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, one day I'll be on Pornhub,
There it is.
There it is, right? There it is.
Guy. Maximilian.
Thank you.
So this was great, Max. Thanks so much for your time. Listen, I very much look forward to meeting up with you and meeting you in person, grabbing a drink and having some laughs. And again, thanks for bringing this to the dental industry. This is the stuff we need. Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And listen, the last thing I'm going to say, and I hear this from a lot of doctors, right? They would say, well, why can't I do it myself? So I said, of course you can. You only had 39 years to do it. Why haven't you?
Straight from the horse's mouth. You can do it yourself if you
And
really
if you
want
want to
to.
do it yourself, I'm willing to hold your hand. No charge. But I'll tell you this, right? I'll tell you this. I could probably pull my own tooth.
You probably could. I mean, you're probably going to leave half of it in there too,
That's my
but you could probably.
point. That's my point. I can do it, but I will fuck it up, right? And I trust me when I tell you, when you're gonna try to do this yourself, you will fuck this up as well.
I'm sure I would. That's why I would not try, and that's why I would defer to you.
Perfect. Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Matt. Thanks, Bubbles.
All right.